Let's call the meeting to order. Let's have a roll call.
Agnes Fornarski,
Present.
Dana Syvertson.
Here.
Peter Hahn,
Here.
John Kamish,
Here.
Seth Marcus,
Here.
Ed Madden.
Present.
I'm Jill Moskell. All are present. We have a quorum.
Okay. Before we approve the minutes, I'd just like to say congratulations to the mayor and the newly elected city officials.
Yep, I'd second that, and we look forward to working with everybody on a new administration and seeing if we can make some more progress. Anybody else?
Agreed. Yep, welcome to all the aldermen.
Okay.
Approval of minutes of regular meeting of March 14th.
I would like to make the motion that we approve the minutes as Jill so deftly crafted them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Minutes approved. Old business, update, volunteer workday schedules. Our last workday was at Tully Park. It was very nice, very well attended. I believe we had something like 18 volunteers. So some of the Tully Park residents were there and many of our volunteers, a lot of the regulars. We got a lot of work done. We cleared out a lot of their buckthorn resprouts and we put down some seed and it was a lot of fun. Julie, you were there.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
You forgot to mention the rain, that we worked in the
Oh,
rain.
we worked in the rain. Yeah. No thunder. It was safe, but it was a little rainy. And then the clouds parted and there was a sunny part. But everybody seemed prepared. They brought their parkas and it was a very nice work day. The next work day, I believe we should do it at the slough, only because of the road construction that's going to happen over there to remove the grindings.
Right, that would be the the Easter Sunday, Earth Day included workday. And right now, I've got an email out to Mark and asked him if he had a specific date for when they were going to be removing the shoulder and replacing it. He did not hear back from the engineer who's in charge of that today. Hopefully, it won't happen before the next workday. And what's at issue here is that all the places where it has breached out of the shoulder have to be, where it's on the plantings and the sensitive areas, we want to rake that back into the shoulder very carefully. And we want to do it, we don't want the contractor to do it, because the contractor intends to do it with a backhoe arm.
So it's just gonna
which would
rip
completely
everything apart.
destroy everything. So what we talked to Mark about with and what we've agreed on is that in those sensitive areas, we would just rake it back into the shoulder, and then they would just clean the shoulder out and put back new materials.
And
So,
we've tried to do this, and one of the hard rakes doesn't work very well. The best is one of those plastic leaf rakes. So
I have one.
if anybody has one
I
to
do.
bring,
yeah, in the work announcement,
we'll tell people to bring
I'll tell everybody, if
rakes.
you've got a plastic leaf rake, bring it.
And then we could just work on one side and then just bump down and then do a little bit more. And then in the meantime, also, buckthorn and all the other things that we could do around there. So,
Do you not want to mention that we installed the signs at Nature Preserve? We did that at a work day.
yeah, we did. Well, I was going to mention it during their interpretive signage, but yes,
Okay.
that was also a very, very well-attended, very wonderful work day. And 6 of the signs were installed. There's 2 signs left.
Right,
be installed.
and jumping ahead a little bit on the agenda to the, to those signs, the company actually shipped us 8 legs for the big signs. They're gonna come out and pick up 4 of those and then credit us back, so we'll apply that credit to our next project with them.
Getting back to the grindings, you might have to have a leaf blower because they're so fine, a rake,
That's a great idea, Peter.
Yeah.
because
Great idea.
they're just going to work their way in
I
to
have
the
a
soil.
leaf blower, so we can definitely use that.
Right,
If anybody else has one?
okay.
Getting back to the polls, was a refund not an option? Instead of having a credit that we might use at some point in the future?
I mean, I can ask, but it just made the most sense since, the intention is to put more signage out at the slough when we finally get around to
Yeah.
doing the enhancement, for public access.
Would a refund then go back into like our budget for that year and then back into the general fund, or would it?
Well, we'll go back to the park district because they're the ones who paid for it.
Right, but it was part of the,
It was part of the grant,
The
so I'd
grant.
have to follow
It's
up.
complicated.
Then maybe it's best.
yeah, let's,
I have no idea what those.
It's like
I-
probably $50 or something.
No, it's more than that. Those
Think
are
so?
big, yeah, those are substantial things with angles and, if I had to guess, it's probably $200-300.
Okay,
Well, then maybe it is.
I'll follow up
Just
with
leave it
Christina.
alone.
okay, that's probably a good idea, then
There's
figure
no
out,
commingling.
Yeah.
right,
Keep it-
exactly,
keep a
right.
clear
Give-
line.
Give it back to
Okay.
Park District and maybe, right, exactly, okay.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Um,
all right, the, public library and Park District programs, everyone knows what the deal is with, Nature Speaks. Terry is, next, Tuesday night? Is it
The
Tuesday night?
16th, yes.
Yeah,
Thursday,
the si- Thursday.
No. No, it's Tuesday.
okay, sorry,
Tuesday, the 16th.
Okay.
Last time I checked, there were like 17 people signed up, so we want to definitely push your buttons,
signed up.
get your people out, so we get attendance at that event. Bill Climate is still in June, and I'm going to pick up the conversation with Daniel Suarez to see if we can get him for the winter, or the fall, actually.
And who's he with?
He's with,
is he still with
Morgan
Audubon? No, he was with
Audubon
Audubon,
Society.
but then
He
he
just,
also works with the Forest Preserve,
right.
Cook County, and,
He just co-authored the grassland report. And so that's sort of what we're looking for to talk about. We saw him at Wild Things, and he was totally up for it, so.
Wonderful.
okay.
The nature camp,
Yeah,
everything is.
if I can swing it, I would
yeah.
like to be there all 3 days,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
Great.
Nature camp is, we're still open for ideas on that. We still have time to put that together.
Does anyone have a microscope? Do you have a microscope?
I
Yes,
don't,
we do.
no, we don't, we have a little baby one, but it's not really a real microscope.
I just thought that would be so cool if we
It
could,
would be very good, especially
Yeah.
with the Macron vertebrate sampling
Yes.
and.
I
Mhm.
might have something. I have to dig through the basement.
Okay,
Can you remind me of the dates?
No, I can't, actually.
wait, hold on.
it's in August.
It's in August.
Yeah, okay.
Of this year.
It's like the last week, it's the 10th week, I think they call it. So it's the week before they
It's
go
in
back
the-
to school,
It is in the
the
minutes.
21st, I believe, of, somewhere around there, but
Those
I
are
think
the
we'll have
dates
to
you're
get back
talking
to you.
about, Jill?
Yes, in August.
the
Okay.
camp.
That's right.
And if I remember correctly, it's only 3 days, right?
Yes, it's
Correct.
3 days,
Yeah.
3 mornings.
3 mornings, yeah.
I believe it's the week of the 5th.
The 5th of August?
The 5th, yeah.
No, I thought it was around the
12,
14th.
13, and 14.
That's right,
12, 13, 14.
right.
Okay, Peter found it, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Okay.
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 So we still have some time to organize everything, our thoughts and ideas. But we should start to work on that and make sure we have everything available and waiters and such things.
Okay.
And then maybe we should reach out to the Park District and make sure that that's all squared away and,
Yeah, last
They're
time
on
I
board.
spoke to them, everything is copacetic, so.
okay,
They are going to do that middle at the Prairie, so they'll be taking
oh, right,
a bus from Marava over to the Prairie. The bird walks are on for the April 27th and May 11th. That's the closing event for Earth Week festivities. Lots of birds right now,
mhm,
lots and lots of birds.
There's a whole other pile of mergansers in the lake.
Yeah.
nice. So it
So-
starts at 7:30, meeting at Marava, and then a bus takes us to the slough.
Does it? Mhm.
Right, today's o'clock.
Okay, so that's it. We covered the nature preserve, the interpreted signage there. So moving on to the Earth Week activities. The announcement will go out tonight. I spoke with Kathy. It's still not clear at this point what to include there for you guys. We're not going to do an organized event. Yeah.
Most of the creek is on private property,
Okay.
okay, so the only place we would be, public would be Country Garden, Somerset Park. And, I'm not really looking for a lot of
right, so
So should we just maybe, like, just post the flyer, you think?
It's more just educational, as in, creek cleanup, if the creek is in your neighborhood, in your yard, you know, turn your back, turn around and pay attention to the backyard instead of your front yard, and the Public Works will help pick up the, here's the flyer that Pete Belcon and Joey and they
okay.
added some lines to
Alright.
make sure people.
So
aren't
just to
putting
promote,
out-
Yeah, all right,
promote it.
so I'll
Promote
incorporate.
cleaning up, but not as, you know, a
Can
volunteer
I keep
kind of
this?
thing, as a, yeah, as a resident.
Has that changed since the last flyer?
Well, yeah, they.
Yeah, they
it's
modified it.
Oh, I got it.
More verbiage to stress that it was not clean up your yard, it's just.
Clean up the
Okay.
creek, okay. So if we posted that for, as an announcement on our site, that would be an, okay.
All right, so I'll incorporate it to that level into this announcement that's going out tonight.
Do you
Okay.
need like a PDF file or?
No, I can do it with
Okay.
that. Okay, so the Earth Week activities then are as we stated last time, nothing has changed. I don't think there's anything to add to it. That email blast will go out tonight. Pardon me?
Do you have any interest in participating, just your membership in creek cleanup at the parks on one of those weekend days?
It would depend on how much notice we have and whether or not people would come out. I mean, the more notice we have.
It's in the middle. The 28th happens to be in right between one workday and the next workday. So then it would be like every Sunday for 3 weeks straight. And that might not draw as many people.
Did you hear back from
That's-
Christina about working over at Somerset? We can do that.
We can do that?
So, and, you know, we'll, you know, work with Mark Roscoe on picking up whatever we pull out. I told him we were not going to do major invasive removal here and there. You know, the grandma, buckthorn perhaps, but
Right.
mostly, he does not want to see it suddenly barren, nor do neighbors.
Slowly.
Unfortunately, the buckthorn keeps the soccer balls out of the creek, the tennis balls, a few things. There's a lot of considerations.
Okay.
So
we
just
be
a-
selective.
A light workday with,
Well, and more trash cleanup and, if you wanted to plant plugs in the 50-foot stretch that ComEd cleared last fall.
That's towards the culvert, right?
no, this,
No, it's pretty much right down from the prairie stuff.
so it's,
Okay,
it's
it's
the air,
further south, I mean.
it's
north.
west of the seeded ComEd Prairie.
Right, I know
If you
that.
keep going, following the lines down from the, you know, onto the prairie
Right.
to where they turn north-south, that's right where it is.
Plugs wouldn't be ready yet, but we still have some seed left over. Might be able to put down some seed.
See what might come up.
Yeah.
We have some.
Would we have permission from the park district to just maybe just do like 10 feet of shoreline stabilization? It's worth
We've
an
asked
ask.
and haven't got a response, so.
Well, just, I mean, seeding with native plants, just so that it's not turf grass right up to the shore, even 10 feet just along the creek.
It's already been cleared.
Yeah.
You know, see what works. We just seed something and see
Right.
what happens. I'd say nothing too conservative.
Somerset Park. Yeah. But even just, if we had permission to just slowly over time work along just 10 feet of that stretch of creek, you know, Somerset Park.
It's already there.
Right.
Well, something will be there soon.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's
Invasive.
true. A bird will drop something.
It's sunny, that's just sunny section.
We do have a number of bush species, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, if one of the concerns is if we were to take out buckthorn seedlings, soccer balls would go into a creek, we could take out and replace. In other words, we do have bush, species of bush, native bushes that we could put in.
Elderberry especially grows really nice, quick.
But does it grow by a shoreline?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
What else do we have? We have buttonbush, and
We have a lot of leftover Oakton community, but they're still a little small. We've got some plums.
Mhm.
Plums are nice.
Mhm,
And those attract birds, and they're very high-quality
mhm.
species. So for every large buckthorn we take out, we could put a few of those ones. But elderberry is the really fast-growing one that has a lot of value. Mm-hmm. And maybe if we place it a little bit further from the shoreline, because the closer to the shoreline, the more erosion the roots will cause, so
Yeah.
if we put it a little further back,
Yeah,
Put a few in where the beavers cleared themselves too.
well, the things that the beavers cleared should actually grow back up.
Yeah,
they will.
and
So we-
resprout.
Wouldn't hurt to have something else besides just for,
Yeah.
The willow. Mhm.
We can actually replace more than we take out, and we can really put in, we have quite a bit. And, yeah, I mean, it can really be a win-win.
So should we, well, I guess two questions. Number one, should we try to have an extra workday on the 28th and sort of gear it towards Somerset Park
Sure.
with the permission of the Park District pending, I suppose? I mean, so far, we have permission to clear out the,
As far as the planting, I mean, the idea is
clearing.
out some of
But
the
maybe if we
grass.
ask for that additional, you know, right?
I think the planting might be. a little
Does anyone have any objection to doing that on the 28th?
No,
Extra workday.
Extra work day?
no, our volunteers love coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
we do.
Those who
So
can't make it on the
we'll-
21st because of Easter.
That's right.
It
Okay.
would be the 28th, I would think,
The 28th, the Sunday.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have the bird walk on the 27th, so, right.
Right, so,
May 4th and 5th.
Fifth, right, yeah, that's right, they changed the dates.
They want us to split it between South and Valentine.
Yeah, we have a work day on the 5th, so it's the same sort of situation,
but unless we made the workday there.
unless we made the work day there.
Yeah, that's what's the
All
thought.
right, why don't we do that? That's easier, then we don't disrupt the regular flow of things.
Yeah, instead of an
Does
extra
that make
one.
sense to everybody?
I think we should put it out there.
So you want to do it?
I think because the
Extra?
weather's nicer, yeah, our people love to come out.
Okay, I don't mind working 3 Sundays in a row.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, fine.
It's
Plus,
all,
I
it's all
have-
for the community.
And I have the expectation that the week prior, we'll get a low turnout because of Easter.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or it might-
Okay, so what we'll do is, what I'll do is I'll put in this general information about this, and then add the special workday on the 28th.
And it makes sense that it's a special workday because it's not like a site that we,
Right.
you know, but it's just, it needs a little help. and
So
so-
we'll list that as a joint workday with a commission, and then we'll do all of our regular
Yeah.
things that we provide.
Okay.
Okay.
We could, if we're going to be cutting buckthorn, it would make sense to burn it on site.
They'll pick it up.
You know, It's a lot of work
Park
for them.
District will pick it up.
Yeah.
Because in conjunction with this arrangements, it's well, the trouble is,
They'll dump it by
the
tomorrow.
burn scars will be very obvious.
Right.
And it's too close to homes.
It'll come full circle.
Any place where the burn scar wouldn't be obvious is too close to the homes.
Okay.
Well, what about on the other side, like closer to the church?
Way down by the church, but the
Right.
beavers already cleared that. So there wouldn't be as much burn down there.
True. It's just, it's a lot of work for them, I guess, to come out.
When I talk with the Park District, we can just cut it, leave it, and then it'll be up to them and Roscoe because of the cleanup thing to
Sure.
collect it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
take advantage of the-
We'll permanent burn.
That's what we have.
Okay,
Sounds
Yes.
good. All right, go ahead.
okay, that's great. Spring prescribed burn results. It was excellent. We burned so much. It was patchy, but that's good too for wildlife. And you can really see the results with everything coming up. Seth and I took a walk yesterday, and you could just really see how effective and how good the burn did for everything. You got a picture. Where was that, John?
It's
Wow.
right on hillside.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really great. So,
Well, and I think too, just from a public awareness standpoint, that the fact that the burn that occurred right next to Elmhurst Road, south of that, the pavilion, just really opened that up visually. And I think that benefits us in terms of people kind of seeing like, oh my God, the slough's there,
the slough's there.
you know?
Yeah.
So I think that helped a lot.
Right, there's been a tremendous amount of people walking the path around there.
Oh my
I mean,
God,
every
yeah.
time I'm home, which is not that much, but I mean, it's like every time I'm home, I look out the window, there's someone walking the path. And there's kids and groups of kids and families, and so it's, yeah, it's working, it's really nice. And the
Yeah, a
burn
lot of
made a big
traffic.
difference.
Burn it and they will come.
Yeah,
Okay, new business then, the update on the budget. Where we left off was John and Agnes attended the last round of the council discussion on the budget. Nothing was discussed. They retired to executive session right away. We submitted 3 versions of our budget that Peter presented to them. On the 22nd, they're going to be making their decisions about what they're going to fund and what they're not going to fund. So until then, we don't really have any input on what next year's budget is actually going to bring. We did receive a donation from Mary Ellen and Rod Siemens for $250 in support of the sort of struggles that we're having with budget funding, so that was very nice and greatly appreciated.
and one other neighbor, like it was $100.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, there's nothing else to report on that at this time until council decides what they're gonna do.
Please mention that I did attend too, but I was pulling into the parking lot
Yes.
as they were coming out.
Sorry.
Yes, Jill did attend the meeting.
I was a
She
little
tried.
late, but I was
Right.
there.
But the meeting was over. I get 7, so, the last one. The, okay. Next on new business is the treasurer position. So, Peter, we'd like to have a treasurer. Is that,
What would the treasurer do?
just keep,
Count for the money.
just keep everything, yeah, keep track of money and,
Count the
or,
pennies.
It just, in presenting the last budget, it was kind of a confusing ordeal.
You could have just a volunteer that would liaison with staff,
right,
but I mean.
just have someone in charge of it.
Which is what's happening now. But I mean, if you want to be the point person for that, and you say, hey, how much money do we have left?
Right.
We'd be able to tell you that. You can call it a treasurer position, it'd be more of an honorary treasurer position.
Yeah, I mean,
But if you want John to be the point person for that, you could do that.
Yeah, there's
I
just
mean,
something, sometimes there's a lot going on, and if we distribute the workload a little bit.
Everything would have to stay exactly the same the way it is
Oh.
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Donations or any funding would have to come through the city.
Right,
The city,
Yeah.
you know, the city essentially has its own treasurer, and staff maintains the funds as part of our duties. But that would not be an issue. I mean, it would just be
I think
instead of
it's-
me talking to you guys about the budget, me talking to John.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, and he can keep it running accounting as well, so we don't have to bother you so much.
Right, 'cause we keep asking how much is left, or how much do we have for this?
Yeah, but I mean, it still would be
it's still the same
a
thing.
dialogue between staff and whether it's finance or myself and the commission, so.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, so thanks, John, for volunteering to do that.
Everybody agree that?
Yes, agree.
Did he pass the bonding though? Background check.
Okay, we've already talked about the
Election.
election results, so let's go ahead and seed greenhouse.
Seed greenhouse program. So everything's germinating. Everything looks great in the greenhouse. It's a busy time right now. It's a lot of work to keep the temperature and the humidity and everything perfect in there, but it's very successful as of right now. Transplanting season is on, and we have some ideas for getting a lot of those plants transplanted coming up when Seth talks about Wheeling High School. So hopefully with those high school students, we get a lot transplanted. As far as the things that we need right now, we're gonna need some potting soil and some trays, which I will just purchase. It's not that much, but we're gonna need it before our next
Budget.
budget.
Right, we've cleared out the last of the budget, which was essentially Lauren's birthday money. And Agnes bought some special seeds to germinate in her honor, so.
Do we need potting soil or can topsoil, I mean, is there,
For now, with the seedlings potting mix. Later on, we incorporate topsoil. We do half and half.
there's a big pile of topsoil up around
And it has to be a little bit sterile, just because they're babies and
That's
fungus
what I
and,
was wondering.
yeah. So right now, in the beginning, it's very,
They're too sensitive.
they're too sensitive to
Yeah.
everything, like very sensitive to everything, and everything has to be perfect. Later on, when they grow up, then we could, yeah,
Okay.
It's
use,
like regular children.
yeah. Yes,
Yeah, it's not gonna-
okay. Any other questions about that, comments? No. We have a lot of really nice rare seed that's been coming up too. So Poplar Creek gave like short green milkweed, got hundreds of it, and I'm excited because we're gonna get some of that back, but a lot of
was
really.
it called?
Short green milkweed, Asclepias viridiflora. One of the rare things, Zizia aptera, there's, yeah, they gave us 10 of their top species of rare plants for us to grow, and 9 out of the 10 are germinating right now.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Commissioners Monitoring Program. Maybe we should start with who's got what.
I have St. Alphonsus.
St. Alphonsus. I'm not sure that everybody got to go to all the sites yet, but
No.
okay. Ed has St. El's, and then, John, you have Heron Pond.
I have Heron Pond, I'm always around the lake, the slough, and I run through the remnant prairie all the time as
Okay.
well. My eyes are open.
You guys are everywhere, okay.
I have the ComEd Cedar Prairie.
And
I have
Jill,
not been there yet.
Jill has the
This
Sedge
is-
Meadow,
Right.
and Peter has Marava.
Marava?
Actually, Peter has a report.
He does have a,
Yeah, I didn't have it written, I
I have
wrote.
it written if you want.
Okay, yeah,
There you go.
does anybody else have a report other than Peter? No.
Yeah, I was there this week, either Monday or Tuesday. It was a nice windy day. I noticed the grass coming up really nice, and the tree plantings look really good. The blue beech budding out. The burn really looked like it did some real good. The dump site is not really expanding, it's just getting higher. There's more branches and logs, but they're all in the same spot, so it's not really expanding. Over by the canopy, it looks like they're finishing up their work. Looks like they're going to put an irrigation line right along the drip line of the canopy. So I don't know how that's going to work. A lot of the plantings that were done late last year, they're hurting. I don't know how many are going to make it, but there was a lot of disturbance there with the construction. The creek erosion is just really taking its toll, especially along their haul road going up to the dump. You can see where that was just added on. You can see black soil down by the creek, and either when they made the parking lot or tennis courts, clay was piled up on top of that existing topsoil, and that's all sloughing off into the creek. So I would imagine pretty soon they won't be able to get up even into the dump site because that creek erosion down into the creek is really bad. I don't know what we're going to have to do there, but erosion is a big problem there. The new signs really look great. They're very informative. But all in all, Marava really looks good. I mean, it's such an improvement over the past 2, 3 years since we started cleaning it up and maintaining it. It's just amazing. So Morava really looks good.
Thank you.
Yep.
Seth, what was your area?
I have the remnant prairie.
Okay.
So in terms of monitoring, maybe this is a good point to mention that I've taken a course for butterfly monitoring. And so I can, in theory, do butterfly monitoring at our sites, but in order for it to be official, it has to be approved by an organization that does that. But in terms of the location where I will do it, we'll have to see. Their preferences is no site be less than 10 acres. And obviously the slough, most of the slough is water, so it's not necessarily greatly applicable. But I'm working with them to try to find out if we can get our site. There's some maybe non-contiguous sites for monitoring, but I'll let you know.
Okay, cool.
Okay, great.
Maybe a combination of the cedar prairie and,
So,
slough
one thing I
or-
think nobody noticed is that somehow I got eliminated from having a site.
I was looking to see what you were supposed to do. You have one, I know that.
Well, she's here to help us. No, truthfully, because I
Yeah.
want you to go with me, so I know what
Yeah,
I'm.
so
Well, I
we
would give
can
you my
write
site. Part of the issue is I want,
I could take it,
well, what I would like to do is sort of give that up, but then take whatever they'll give me for the butterfly monitoring.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I'll take the remnant, because that's an area that just, yeah, definitely.
So I will get back to you when I hear back from them.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
That's Doug Caron, right?
Correct.
Okay, so next month we'll all go to these sites and take a look, and if anybody wants me to go with, if when you go see it, then that's great, and we can talk about what's there and what needs to get done. Seth and I took a walk around the slough yesterday, and everything looks really good. The reed canary grass, I mean, there's so little of it, but there's pockets, so, but probably 80 to 90% of the reed canary that was originally there is gone. It's just amazing. And it really just requires a couple of hours of management. And so I reached out to Peter, and maybe Saturday afternoon we can do that. If not, in the next couple of weeks, we can organize a time. Because if interns get funded, until interns start, from now on until mid-May is really a prime opportunity to get some of these things. Reed canary comes up first, it leaves out, and nothing else is up yet, so it's a very good opportunity to get it. And it can only be done with applicator license, so
Do you have enough chemical?
we do,
Okay.
for now. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. All right, next is the proactive nature management plans. Jill, does that mean,
We were just, trying to think ahead. I don't know that we have anything to add.
about Somerset.
Yeah,
oh, okay, so something like Somerset? and-
Somerset, yes.
Mhm. Right.
And I was going to mention, when I give the summary of the McDonald Creek Commission May 26th meeting, Somerset Park, the capstone project was mentioned, and McDonald Creek said that they could work with us to accomplish that work together. And they felt that Somerset Park could become the model for residents to refer to in maintaining their area of the creek.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
Priority park for this year is J.C. Park.
J.C.
Prior to ours, which is also creek. It's that little pocket park on Palatine Frontage Road at the end of Elm Street. Elm Street dead ends into J.C. Park.
Yeah.
So you're going up, go up past the library, across Willow Road, and it ends at, dead ends into J.C. Park, which is along the frontage road, the south
Not
side.
Kiwanis?
It's Kiwanis.
Kiwanis?
Oh, that, I'm sorry,
That's
you're right,
right,
that's
yeah.
Kiwanis. I was
Okay.
thinking of, I'm sorry, I
Oh.
got my
Okay.
nonprofits mixed up.
It's all right.
Welcome to
Yeah,
our
right.
world.
Right.
So,
So
where is
J.C.
J.C. then?
I don't know. Anybody know that part?
I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah,
J.C. Park?
no, not J.C.
Kiwanis.
Kiwanis.
No, Kiwanis, yeah, we all know Kiwanis, but
No, I've never heard of J.C.
do you know what their priority is for that park? Is it just, oh,
I'm sorry, yeah, even talking to Christina, I was referring to Kiwanis. Yeah.
So J.C.
I
Park
was confused.
is nothing then, right?
yeah.
I'm not sure where can't remember.
Okay, so you were
But that-
talking about Kiwanis, right?
I was talking about
Yeah,
Okay.
Kiwanis,
All right,
yeah.
okay.
Kiwanis has a lot of erosion there, and I think that the park district has been talking about what to do about it. It's very much eroded, right? It's a complicated stretch. No, it's all right. But we would love to work with the Creek Committee on any stretch, any area. A lot of long-rooted grasses, and what I want to do this year is really try erosion control blankets, but with plugs, because they exist, so it's a little bit more stabilization. The problem is that graded slope. I mean, really, for success, you need a 3-to-1 graded slope, and most of these slopes are just straight up and down, and no plants are going to grow there. And really, short of like gabion baskets and in boulders, there's not much that's going to stabilize the shoreline. And there's that whole velocity effect of the water going through like a ping pong ball. So, but in areas that have nice slopes, erosion control blankets and deep-rooted plants can really work. And I know in Mount Prospect, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see over there, River Trails had a grant project, and they stabilized over 100 feet of shoreline. So it starts off by Euclid and Wolf and goes down through that little bridge, and there's like a little park area there where people sled down. And so that's actually really been successful, and you can see. And it's stable. What? $1 million grant.
Good
Right.
Lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it required,
13,000.
it required soil to be moved and heavy machinery. So, and that's the problem with a lot of these areas. I mean, it's a great
Well,
concept,
at some
but
point, most of the parks that have the creek in it are affected heavily by erosion. At some point, something's got to be done about it, right? So maybe
well, the more heavily,
collectively, we need to start having that conversation with the park district about what are we going to do? Because a lot of that is not going to be fixed unless there's some regrading.
yeah, and MWRD has a plan, and they've worked along stretches that are really bad, but, and some areas now have those baskets, the gabion baskets, and certain stretches don't, but.
Is there a real small area that we could work on, by hand, get it to a 3-to-1?
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
Kiwanis, just.
Like even Kiwanis,
or
yeah. I
Morava,
mean, with
just-
shovels.
Yeah, just to get it.
Seriously.
I know
Yeah.
there's a spot at Morella, for sure,
Yeah, there's,
that doesn't need much work, but it is a little steep, but we could attack it and get it.
Just,
yeah.
Yeah, the part that's at the library end,
okay,
there's a space there that we could really.
by hand.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And
Sorry,
I,
what are you talking, doing
Yeah, I
what
don't
by
know what you're
hand?
talking.
doing like,
Regrading.
regrading the slope and putting an erosion control blanket with plant plugs
Right now,
to stabilize the shoreline.
almost straight up.
Sometimes you want to do a little toe too, but depends on the
Yeah,
area.
just
And
kind of
the-
to show the park district what has to be done or what needs to be done.
What
on
could
its-
be done
Yes,
without $1 million, like just permission to do like a little stretch and just
Yep.
to see. Yeah. I'd really like to see if we can even just try, that hill going up to where the wood is,
Yeah,
just to see if we can try, if we have interns this year, with the erosion control blankets and some nice prairie cordgrass. I mean, that cordgrass goes down 15 feet. It's a shot. It's worth a shot.
Definitely need something deep-rooted on that. I mean, they got, that creek going around a bend is a very powerful force. and
It
it's-
is.
It's, my fear would be that it'll rip out everything we plant.
Mhm.
But if the
It's
plant's
worth a
high
try.
enough and stays, out of a flood for a little bit.
Right.
that'd
And
be-
cordgrass can get its feet wet for several days.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And it can tolerate dry. It's a very tough grass. So I think it's worth a try, Okay.
By the way, J.C. Park is a little wedge-shaped park, kind of in that Tully Park neighborhood. How there's a couple
Yeah.
wedge-shaped parks in there?
Right.
Jill's house.
It's by, and so it's one of those, there's like two of them, and it's the
Yeah, I
the
should've
larger
known
of the
that.
two. Yeah, it's kind of behind the,
Park right by your house.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Rosemary Road, and it's
Oh, Rosemary Rock, and then there's one down. Mhm.
What are they gonna do there?
Maybe just playground replacement.
There's playground equipment's already there. Okay.
All right, so next is the city civic meetings and PHNRC representation reporting. Ad hoc Willow Road Committee was canceled.
Correct, and I don't know when it will be rescheduled. So to date, they've only had one meeting, February 27th.
Peter, has there been any mention of upcoming meeting for them?
For the Willow Road Committee,
Yeah.
nothing planned yet.
Okay.
They have no information from MWRD, or not MWRD, is that Cook County?
Yeah.
It's
Cook
both.
County, yeah.
Cook County and
How can we know when the next meeting is? Because,
It'll be posted.
but it'll be posted 48 hours before or 72 hours,
All will
so.
be posted before 48 hours.
Right.
But you can always sign up on our website to get the alerts. And anytime we post something on the website, that gets sent out.
Okay.
So, and I'll put it in the e-news like I always do, but if they decide to have a meeting, you know, today, on Monday, say.
Right.
I mean, we'd have to get out the notification out today, but that's completely their prerogative. The Open
Right.
Meetings Act requirement is 48 hours, so.
Mhm.
We try to do it beforehand if we have that advance notification, but it has to be at least posted by 48 hours. Staff is not going to sit on it. If they've made a determination, say a week down the line or 2 weeks down the line, we're going to post it as soon as we can.
Sure.
But it all hinges on when we're notified when they decide to make a meeting.
But you could post the date without actually having to post the agenda, correct? The agenda has to be posted 48 hours before.
Correct. We put it on a calendar, I put it in the e-news. Yeah, whenever we know that there's a meeting coming up, we try to get ahead of it.
Right.
The agenda, you're absolutely correct, has to be up 48 hours in advance. But if we know next month or next year that someone's going to have a meeting, we can post it
Right.
as early as today.
Okay.
But there's been no talk of a meeting.
Okay. Thank you. The McDonald Creek Commission meeting. Dina, would you like to start with?
no, Joe.
But we attended it. No, you didn't attend it, but.
No,
We did.
went to their
Seth, how about Seth discusses
Well-
when we attended, just the beginning part,
I
right?
I took notes, so I could
Okay.
tell you. So McDonald Creek Commission invited the PHNRC to their March 26th meeting. Agnes, Dana, Peter, and Seth were present. I'm thinking of my niece and nephew because they're expecting their baby.
That's what's wrong with me.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Agnes said that the PHNRC wanted an opportunity to introduce our organization to the McDonald Creek Commission and meet their commissioners, especially since Robert Rules of Order states the commission can only meet 2 people at a time. PHNRC offered their services to McDonald Creek Commission. We realize that they are doing so much, especially in the flood plain, and we do share common goals, which is preservation. We did offer our help for the creek cleanup days, people services, tools. In the future, we can also provide prairie plants from our inventory. We did mention about publishing a PHNRC journal once a month and workday notices. So McDonald Creek Commission is welcome to piggyback on these communications. We have an email list of 300 people. Let's see. We know that the McDonald Creek Commission is limited as a commission, and we are more established with communicating. So again, just happy to share our resources. And then we discussed Somerset Park already. And Dana was to send the capstone presentation to McDonald Creek Commission to Kathy.
Right, I had surgery instead, so.
Right.
But you will do that.
Said it's nice.
Well, John Kinseth said that we, being PHNRC, has an opportunity to advertise on the Story Boardwalk signs that we do have native plants. So what people are viewing at the nature preserve, they could actually contact us perhaps for the plants. And then that could foster them to start building up their own backyards with native plants. So, and the creek cleanup days were changed to the weekends, April 27th and 28th, and May 4th and 5th. And that's about all I have. Oh, they did mention about the June block party, that maybe McDonald Creek can coordinate with us, so we could share space together. Thank you. And they very kindly are moving their meeting time from 6 PM to 6:30 PM so that I could possibly attend in person. I really appreciate that. And their next meeting is April 23rd. Did you want to add anything, Kathy? Did I? Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Jill, that's great.
Great. Okay. Prospect Heights Park District Board of Directors.
There is nothing new to report on that. No one has gotten back to me in any way, shape, or form. So I'll follow up with Christina and find out if we have any sort of feedback on the issues that we raised last time. And as soon as I hear something, I'll let you know.
And it just, there's, I know of the Somerset Park thing and the area at Morava. Are there any other things besides that?
No, that was it.
Okay. Next is the Islamic Women's Earth Day event.
Okay, that's this Saturday, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, this Saturday, and so this was an event that was organized by our super volunteer Linda Wasey, and Linda had been in contact with a woman from the Islamic Center, and they're having their Earth Day celebration that goes from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And so they've offered a booth to us to reach out to the people that are associated with their association to talk about volunteering, coming out and doing work with us. They've given us a table, and we have all the display stuff, so we'll be taking that and a couple of easels. We're going to be giving 2 short presentations, one at, I think, 10 and one at 12, or 10:30.
One at 10:30 and one at 12:30.
10 and 12:30, so that's basically the front end of the Wild Things talk. where
Just
we're
a
gonna-
15-minute talk.
Yeah, just go through the 5 sites that we work with, and then tell them about how great volunteering is and to come out.
Where is that at?
Rolling Meadows.
Rolling Meadows,
The exact-
we have instructions on how to get there and everything. Ed and Agnes are going to the mayor's breakfast to represent us, and they'll be coming over afterwards. The rest of us are, whoever's gonna be going, we're gonna meet at 9:30 at the Islamic Center, and then we'll set up the booth and get things rolling.
If, I think I'm supposed to be talking,
Yes,
so I need to know what
yeah, we'll go over that stuff.
Not much time. When are you going to go over it?
I'm.
Well, I mean, he's familiar with the presentation because
Okay.
he was part of it at one point before
Okay.
I had to lop him off, so.
So between now and Saturday,
Yeah,
Friday?
yeah, I'll truncate that tomorrow and then send you those as a PDF.
Great.
And then we'll talk over the phone.
Great.
Should we just generally send out information and address and directions to everybody so everybody knows?
Yep,
Do we have a time when setup starts?
9 o'clock,
Okay.
or 9:30.
9:30.
9:30, okay.
Mhm.
Great. Anything else about that? We'll be there.
You know, and they know we're coming at 9:30?
Yeah,
And Linda will be there too, to help. It'll be nice. Okay, updates, Wheeling High School. Seth?
It seems to be proceeding nicely. Their first visit is April 24th. They have, at this round of things, there are 2 classes. They'll take turns. The first class will come for 3 visits because of the school year ending. The second class will only come for 2 visits. Agnes and I are planning teaching modules. Basically, they'll be there for approximately 2 hours, maybe slightly less because of travel time. And the thought is half the time that they're there, we're going to be doing education, and half the time they're going to be doing work.
What time?
10:30 to 12:30. And John, would you be able to participate?
What time's the end? What time?
On Wednesdays from 10:30 to 12:30.
I have a meeting I have to attend at noon.
What about the following Wednesdays?
Typically,
Typically, yes.
yes.
There's 2 Wednesdays that I cannot be there. The 8th,
First, I'm going out of town also. So the first 2 Wednesdays I am unavailable for.
okay,
I don't know how many Wednesdays there are.
5,
5.
Okay, so
So
after
I guess
that,
you're going the 8th and what?
the
the
22nd.
8th, I could,
You could do the 8th,
yeah.
and, okay.
You're talking the 24th of April?
Right. April 24th is the first,
The very first one.
four Wednesdays following that, total of 5 Wednesdays.
And so what will happen is one class will come out, right? And then the next week, a different class will come out.
Mhm.
And then the third week, the first class will come out. And the fourth week, the second class will come out.
Mhm.
And then the fifth week, it's going to be the first class again. So the first class will get 3 different things.
Right.
Right, okay. And it's a class of how many students approximately?
Well, she's waiting to get, it's sort of has to be a official field trip, and the students have to bring in permission notices. And not surprisingly, she says, it often takes a while for some of them to get their permission slips in, so we're expecting numbers in the 20s.
In the 20s, okay. And I actually,
Also, I did warn them about boots and pants for mud.
Right.
Yeah, they're high school students, we'll see what happens.
did,
No flip-flops.
no flip-flops.
Yeah, apparently we.
Which year? I never asked, but what year of high school? We don't know. That's might be something worth
Yeah.
finding out, just
Yeah.
maturity level and everything.
Are you
but-
going to send a notice, something formal for us, or on this, the date and where and all that? You don't know, we don't know where.
It's still in the works. So here's the idea, and Seth and I have talked about this. And so, and the idea maybe for the first 2 would be, so they're going to be identical, the first and second Wednesday, because it's 2 different groups. And we thought maybe for the first half hour, sort of an introduction, letting them know about us and why it's important and all of these things. And then we split it up into the next hour and a half and 45 minutes each. And maybe even split up the groups so that we have like 12 and 12 students, so it's not a whole big group of 26, it's just a little bit more, it's easier to manage. And so for 45 minutes, one group is going to be transplanting seedlings, and for 45 minutes, the other group is going to be taking a walk around the slough with a big talk about ecology and invasives and natives and erosion and all of the things that we could talk about on this walk. And then we switch off again for the second group. So they get about 45 minutes of work, and then the rest is mostly education. 45, 50 minutes, something like that, right? Does that sound?
Yeah, she did mention that sort of the period actually starts at 10:30, and she thinks she can have them at the site at 10:45.
Okay,
It's
However that
going to
works.
be a process that we're all going to have to work through and see how it goes and adjust accordingly. I think it's important sort of to keep our eyes on the prize, meaning that I think the goal is to, educate them and hopefully teach them the importance of nature and things like that. So I think we should think about, what are our goals and how are we best going to achieve them for the students.
yeah. So the thought maybe for the next 2 Wednesdays, I thought maybe we continue with whatever we didn't mention that time, and maybe that's wildlife, maybe John, if you can pick up that with Seth, and you talk about all the wildlife, and then that brings together the dependence of the ecology and the restoration that we're doing, and why all of those things were important, and why they were transplanting. And now maybe we have them clear some buckthorn and line the trail for 45 minutes. Then the other 45 minutes focuses on education, and then at that time, it's actually bird migration season, so we'll bring some binoculars, and there's going to be birds all over the place, and so you could really tie it into the importance of that, and how many more frogs we have, and how many more species, and how everything is sort of interdependent, and that whole wheel, John, that you had on the presentation about,
Changing the habitat.
changing the
you change
habitat, changing the
inhabitants.
habitats, and maybe that's our lesson plan for that middle section. And then I was thinking for the last section, it's a shame that there's only one group that's going to follow, but I thought it would be really nice as sort of like an end point to go to Morava, and there they actually plant the plants that 4 weeks ago they transplanted. But in this way, we can also sort of cohesively, Morava drains into the slough, and we talk about watersheds, and we talk about pervious surfaces and permeable, and where the water comes from, where does it come from, where does it drain, where does it go, why is it important? We talk about filtration, we talk about chemicals, we talk about all of these things, and so it sort of brings them to an area where they're working on it, but they've been at the SLU, and so this ties into that, and they're actually, sort of like it brings it all together in their head. I thought that might be nice.
Sounds great.
I'm
And the
interested.
plan, this is something that's obviously starting late in the year, and it's a class that isn't overtly connected to what we're doing. But next year, it's an environmental studies class that they want to have involved. So we'll have a more focused group,
Right.
and it'll be a longer term that we'll have with them. So, yeah, I mean, the hope is this is a long-term project.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that we can do, and they were interested in data collection, we could do quadrat sampling, we could do all sorts of things that really can tie into their lesson plan and their studies, and it'd be really great.
Yeah, I mean, feedback with, having an instructor that's dedicated to that, I mean, then you can get maybe suggestions from their curriculum about things they want to see for Rio out in nature, so it becomes more symbiotic in that respect.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to help and participate, things that I've thought about is, what if it rains on April 24th? I'm just thinking the first two days, just thinking right now, what's coming up.
I think what would be real good is for you to make out a schedule of these and then put, what the topics are, and then we'll fill in who's going to be available.
Who can come, who can
So everybody has
help.
a schedule and a plan that we can work off of.
Yeah.
So if you could do that.
Because if it rains, they've got to go somewhere inside. I mean, if it rains, we can have canopies up for like light rain, but if there's any thunder, lightning, they've got to be inside. It's not safe, so either that means going
In the
back
garage.
to school or the garage, in which case I would need some help to organize that, facilitate it, and chairs, we need things like that.
We have the two pop-ups if it's just simply raining, so.
We have plenty of tables, we need chairs. That's the only thing we need, chairs, so we may consider,
Which I
we have
don't
chairs.
think
Yeah,
Lots more though, well, 20 people.
25,
We're close.
27. Right. And
Okay.
theoretically, they may be able to transplant all of those plants. I mean, that's a lot of
Sure.
kids. You have to be careful and a lot of education because, from experience, I've asked other people that work with high schoolers, like, they can be really good or they can not be
Destroy
that,
things.
destroy things.
Yeah.
So we have to be, the more people that there are to sort of lead them in the right direction, the better.
Yeah, so anyone who can show up.
We'll have Agnes put a schedule together and work on that. and
Yeah,
Send it
we'll
out
work
to
on that
everybody.
together.
Okay, cool.
Great, exciting.
Meeting locations for May through September. I'd suggest the list of local, the standard issue characters, which would be Isaac Walton, the picnic table at Marava, maybe something at Heron Pond or Walnut Woods at that picnic table. I don't think we need to go beyond that, really. Does anybody else have any input?
Places that are not likely to be mosquito infested.
Oh, good luck.
Good luck.
Well, Agnes was thinking do it sooner rather than later so that we have.
Obviously, the more open, sunny area when mosquito season in
In the
July.
evening, there is no sunny area.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes come out. My vote is still to have them here. Sorry.
Okay.
I think we gotta count on bug spray.
What does everybody think? I
Well,
don't
May, there
mind.
won't be mosquitoes, so we can start with May outside. Mosquitoes are hardly ever around in May.
It is beautiful in May. We could have one meeting in May
So
and
it's
then
a
decide.
compromise to John, can we do May, one in May, and then see how it goes?
It's a majority, so I'll go wherever you guys want to go.
How does Patrick feel about it? Should we ask for his
Oh,
input?
Patrick, right.
It is a challenge for staff, but as long as you can tell us and you can pull us with the Open Meetings Act, and that's a requirement we have to do, so.
Where should we do it in May?
Break up the shorts.
Marava, start off in
I was going to say Heron Pond, just because I've been here in ages, but I don't know. That's shady, right?
It is
That's not
shady,
very sunny.
Actually, it would be Walnut Woods because there's. a
Walnut
picnic
Woods.
table there.
But it's in the woods.
It's a
Well,
bit of a walk-in and it's very buggy.
Okay, then
Yeah.
we don't want that.
No, probably not.
All right, so should we do Marava for May?
Yeah, we could,
That picnic table right there?
sure.
Okay.
It seems easy and parking and everything,
All
getting
right, so
equipment in.
May
and-
is Marava.
Plus, taking into consideration city staff. It's
Right.
a little harder for them.
That's true.
Right, it's easier to get
Yeah, I mean, walking the camera and all that stuff into like Walnut Woods would be a
Yeah,
hassle for.
right.
All right, I'll coordinate that with Patrick. I gotta coordinate Terry Mazzelli's videotape on his presentation as well.
Okay. Great. City of Prospect Heights Community Days.
I'll be
Okay.
there for sure, like I have been. I'm happy to be there the whole time.
Jill and I have sort of been the anchors of that. If anybody else wants to come, we greatly appreciate it.
I should be able to go now.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Unfortunately, it's the
Yeah,
time
that's your parents'
my
vacation.
parents go on vacation at the most beautiful time of the year, and I have to cover 3 offices, so I won't be there.
What's
I
going
will-
to be done there? We're setting up a table? or-
We have a table, we have a pop-up tent, and then just some displays, plants, stuff, and we just
Plant
meet and
giveaways.
greet members of the community.
Talk to people interested and give them.
It's
was-
from what, 9 to 12?
Noon.
9 to
But I was
12.
thinking too that if there was some way we could do something more interactive, you know how, the one booth, they had a, what do you call it? A wheel or something, and then if it stopped on something, someone got something. We did give away plants, right?
We did give away
Yeah.
plants.
I
That's-
suggest Dana sit on his dunk tank.
Sure, why not?
Well, it's something to think about, so we have time to
Any
think
idea of
about.
the times that is?
It's usually
9
9
to 12.
9 to 12 in the morning.
And it's with the Lions
Pancake
pancake breakfast, which is in the firehouse. So lots of kids.
Yeah. And setup is usually like an hour before that.
Yeah, I wish we could give away stickers or something like that. Stickers about ecology and plants and so forth.
Yeah, we used to do that a long time ago. We had like, for the, Ed, do you remember with the McDonald Creek Commission, when we had our little events, we had like these,
You had fish, plastic fish.
we had fish, one thing we did was we had a big bowl or a pool with fish, with a fishing pole and a magnet, and then little fish inside, and so the kids could fish out the fish, and then it had like a letter on it, and they would read off a question, or things like that, I remember, but like interactive things for children, and they would get little prizes, and usually it was like a sticker or a little plastic fish or something like that.
Wait, and this might be something that might be helpful, is we gave away bumper stickers. At the time, Alderman D'Alessandro provided those, but just mentioning that, things like, you know, that might not be a bad thing for us to be giving away, that our supporters could be advertising for us. You know, something like I Heart, you know, native
PHNRC.
plants, or Prospect Heights native plants.
Mm-hmm. Even our bumper stickers, PHNRC bumper stickers,
Yeah.
we could give those away, right?
Well, those are magnetic ones, right?
They are.
Those are probably kind of pricey, but maybe doing a version of that in a more
Mhm.
reasonable
Okay.
rubber sticker.
All right, well, we got time to noodle it, so if
Yeah.
anybody's
Right.
got any
Okay.
great ideas.
So if anybody has, yeah,
so-
nice ideas for more interactive things for
Just-
children
I mean, anything
and
that just gets our kind
Is
of
this mostly
branding
a
out
children's
there.
event, or is it a?
Well, there's a
It's
lot
mixed.
of
It's
children.
open to the public,
Yeah.
but because of the fire engines
Right.
and the police stuff,
The
there
kids
are
are
some.
there.
It's
There's a lot of
family
kids.
It's family oriented.
Yeah.
it is,
I
definitely.
think we should use a lot of what we did at MacArthur for the science fair,
Mhm.
so that people are seeing the bones, seeing the wood, you know, the plants.
Right. I can,
Both options.
yeah.
In my.
Nesting cavity,
My
things
memory,
like that.
it's not a very well-attended event
Yeah.
compared to like the block party.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you gotta have a whole,
Well, my idea for the stickers is really more globally, like
Yeah.
for the block party too.
Yeah.
okay.
You know, just something that
Mm-hmm.
hopefully people will go back and put on their cars or on their,
And then you're driving around Prospect Heights and 9 out of 10 cars have our bumper sticker on them.
Okay.
or even just something for one of the, you know, rear windows.
Sure.
Doesn't have to be huge.
How about an Agnes bobblehead?
Yeah, we could do that.
Hit the bobble.
A dog with a bobbly head. coyote was probably in it.
Well, many
All right,
ideas out
move
there, so we'll,
Move on.
all right. Okay, so we'll think about it some more. Okay, and last is visitors' comments.
Visitors, any comments?
Oh.
Okay, I make a motion, we adjourn then.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.